Greetings, everyone. Well, you can't have an 80s action movie collection without having at least a few of these in there somewhere, because in many ways this series served to define 80s action movies in a lot of ways. They were the ones by which all others were judged. These were the ones that spawned the tropes, the stereotypes, and many of the standard formula that would be seen again and again through countless action movies throughout the 80s and well into the 90s. We still see a lot of these tropes and stereotypes pop up from time to time in modern action films. What am I talking about? Who else could it be but John Rambo himself? Yes, that's right. The First Blood movies, or the Rambo movies. Whichever one you're looking at, what it's titled, it's one or the other. Yeah, it's kind of a confusing chronology of titles. I remember the Angry Video Game Nerd did a whole video about it. So, anyway, Rambo, and lots of it, today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. So, I first saw the Rambo movies around the time that the fourth one came out. Yeah, I was really late to the party. As I mentioned in some other updates and closer looks and whatnot, I just wasn't big on action movies when I was, younger. It wasn't until later in life I kind of developed a taste for them. I know my parents watched a lot of like thrillers and whatnot, but they didn't really go for the sort of slam-bang, action-y type stuff that was all the rage during the 80s. Just really wasn't their thing. So a lot of them just never really kind of crossed my path back then. So it wasn't until later in life that I actually sat down and started, checking out all of these action movies from my youth that I'd missed out on. I know a lot of my friends were fans of them, and they would tell me about them. The Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Chuck Norris, Steven Seagal, all the big stars of the 80s. They watched all of them and would tell me about them. So I was familiar with them, but just hadn't seen them. So around the time that the fourth movie came out, I picked up the first three movies on DVD. Some really nice editions. They called it the Ultimate Editions, and at the time, they were the best editions going for the original Rambo trilogy. And then Annetta and I, we were still together at the time, went to see the fourth one in the theater and had a great time. It was a great movie. As for the originals, the first one's great, the second one's great, the third one, it feels very comic booky, but it still has some fun action sequences. The fourth one is an absolutely brilliant revival of the character and the franchise. The only one I have not seen at this time is the fifth one. So, let's check out what we got. I've been wanting to get Rambo back into the collection for a long time because it's just such a big, notable action franchise, and I always really enjoyed them, and I wanted to revisit them. So I kept looking around for like a Blu-ray set or something, and there was a Blu-ray set a while ago. I think it came in a tin or something, but it was just never really going for a price that was attractive to me. It always seemed to be a little bit pricey for what it was, especially given that I got the Rocky set on Blu-ray for a song and a dance, so I kind of felt like Rambo should be somewhere in the same price range. I don't know. So this time around I decided, you know what, I just really want to get these movies back in my collection. Let's see what the best editions going are out there right now. And, well, it turns out all 5 of them are on 4K now. So, yeah, I took a little peek on, some of the review sites, and it seems like the transfers are pretty good. I haven't actually watched them yet, but they looked quite satisfactory to these bespectacled eyes. So here we have the first one, First Blood, the start of the Rambo saga. And boy, what a great movie this is. It's basically Rambo versus the entire police force of a small town that gives him a hard time. But, he's essentially a Vietnam vet, and he's just being kind of shat on by the local police, and, it ends up going south. Keep an eye out for a young David Caruso as one of the deputies. Very pre-NYPD Blue. I remember listening to the commentary track on this on the DVD, and even Sylvester Stallone says, like, yeah, you could tell that kid was going places, you know, so there was just something about him. So, not much in the way of a description on the back here. We basically just have Academy Award nominee Sylvester Stallone stars as war hero, ex-Green Beret John Rambo in the one that started it all. First Blood is an explosive action thriller that will keep you on the edge of your seat until the final powerful frame. Yeah, really not too much there. But I mean, do we really need an introduction? It's Rambo. Everybody knows who Rambo is. So let's just check out the extras here. I'm pretty sure this is all of the extras from the Ultimate Edition, just carried over. They've carried over across the various editions. So, on the Blu-ray, we've got Rambo Takes the 80s, Part 1, The Making of First Blood, an alternative ending, an outtake, one singular outtake, one singular deleted scene, a featurette on the restoration, The Real Nam, Forging Heroes, and How to Become Rambo, Part 1. And then we've also got audio commentary with Sylvester Stallone, which, as I recall, is a really good commentary. I definitely recommend giving that a listen. And audio commentary with author David Morrell, who wrote the original novel, actually. What? Okay, I may have known this sometime in the past, but forgot. I actually did not know that First Blood was based on a novel. Well, shit, I'm going to have to track that down now. I'm really curious as to how it all began. So that is First Blood, and not much to look at inside. Well, actually, we do have some very nice disc art, just basically taken off the cover there. So we got Blu-ray and 4K, and you get a digital copy as well. Next up, we have the start of the confusing titles. We have Rambo, First Blood Part 2. So this, of course, is the one where we get more into just flat-out action. Basically, Rambo has to rescue some POWs and, you know, heads off into the jungle to be a one-man army to liberate them. So let's just take a quick look at the back here, and we'll check out the special features. So once again, not much of a description. The ultimate American action hero is back. In this explosive, Oscar-nominated sequel to First Blood, Sylvester Stallone is back as John Rambo, the perfect killing machine. Rambo's survival skills are tested with a vengeance on a top-secret mission that takes him back to the jungles of Vietnam in search of American POWs. Boy, they sure liked to have stories about American POWs still being held captive in Vietnam 20 years later, you know, or 10 years later. But, yeah, because one of the Missing in Action movies with Chuck Norris deals with a very similar plot line. But it's Chuck Norris, so you know he's going to get him out, no matter what. Probably won't even get so much as a paper cut. So taking a look at the extras here, we got Rambo Takes the 80s Part 2. We Get to Win This Time. Action in the Jungle. We get to win this time. So, yeah, another little Vietnam reference. Action in the Jungle. The Last American POW. Sean Baker, Fulfilling a Dream. An interview with Sylvester Stallone. Interview with Richard Crenna, Behind the Scenes, and How to Become Rambo, Part 2. Then we also have an audio commentary, this time with director George P. Cosmatos. And there we go. So there is First Blood Part 2, Rambo. Alright, and next up, they just abandoned the First Blood title, because I guess it was like Third Blood by this time. And we just have Rambo 3. Yeah. I swear he gets beefier with each successive sequel. We'll line them all up at the end here, and then you can see for yourself what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's flip it around here, and we'll check out the extras. The explosive third blast in the action-packed series. When Colonel Sam Troutman, Richard Crenna, is captured during a top-secret mission in Afghanistan, Rambo erupts into a one-man firestorm to rescue his former commanding officer and decimate the enemy. This intense, heart-pounding adventure boasts unrelenting action and suspense from start to finish. Excellent. So then for extras, of course, we have Rambo Takes the 80s Part 3. I think that's just basically a multi-part featurette about sort of how influential these films were in terms of the action movies of the 80s. which is, very valid. Full Circle, A Hero's Journey, Rambo's Survival Hardware, An Alternate Beginning, not an alternate ending this time, alternate beginning, Deleted Scenes, An Interview with Sylvester Stallone, Afghanistan, A Land in Crisis, Guts and Glory, Behind the Scenes, Troutman and Rambo, How to Become Rambo Part 3, and Selling a Hero, which is apparently an Easter egg. And it looks like most of those extras are on the Blu-ray only, by the way, so I'm guessing it's probably just the same Blu-ray disc that's been around for a while, and then the 4K is the new transfer. Seems to be pretty standard with these kinds of releases. And then finally we got an audio commentary with director Peter McDonald. And I just noticed that the music for the first three is all by Jerry Goldsmith. Like, freaking legend of movie score. He did the Star Trek Next Generation theme. Well, specifically Star Trek The Motion Picture, but was used for Star Trek The Next Generation. That's crazy. Love Jerry Goldsmith's music. Well, now I definitely got to watch these again. Next up, we have Rambo 4. First Blood Part 4. John Rambo, First Blood Part 4. Rambo 4? Nope. Just Rambo. Just to make it even more confusing. So, Rambo actually got a slipcover with this one. Check this out. And it's exactly the same artwork. The difference being the slipcover is nice and shiny. It's a shiny slipcover. I don't know how well that's picking up on camera. But, yeah, pretty sure it's the same on the back. Yeah, it's the same contents on the back there. So we'll just set the slipcover aside for the moment, and let's check out the extras, shall we? See, I remember seeing this in the theater. It was frickin' awesome. The ultimate American action hero returns with a vengeance. After spending several years in northern Thailand operating a longboat on the Salween River, John Rambo, Sylvester Stallone in case you didn't already know, reluctantly agrees to carry a group of Christian missionaries into war-torn Burma. But when the aid workers are captured by ruthless nationalist army soldiers, Rambo leads a group of battle-scarred, combat-hardened mercenaries on an epic last-ditch mission to rescue the prisoners at all costs. Yeah, and I gotta say, I mean, even getting up in years, Stallone still got it, man. Like, like he really brings the Rambo to the party. So let's check out the extras. So it doesn't say that any of the extras are exclusive to the Blu-ray in this case. It says movie and special features for both of them, so I'm wondering if all of these are on both discs. So we've got audio commentary with Sylvester Stallone on the theatrical cut only, and I should mention this does include both the theatrical and extended cuts. There's a difference of 8 minutes between the two. We've got It's a Long Road, Resurrection of an Icon. Oh, here we are, 4K only. Okay, A Score to Settle, The Music of Rambo, 4K only. The Art of War, Completing Rambo, 4K only. The Weaponry of Rambo, 4K only. Nice that we got like actual 4K special features. A Hero's Welcome, Release and Reaction, 4K only. Legacy of Despair, The Real Struggle in Burma, 4K only. Rambo to Hell and Back, Director's Production Diary, looks like that's probably on both discs. Deleted Scenes and Theatrical Trailer, both 4K only. Well, that's actually pretty cool. I mean, I know with Blu-ray, very often, if it was a Blu-ray and DVD combo pack or something, you'd only get the extras on the DVD sometimes, but not necessarily as much on the Blu-ray, or there'd be a few things that would be exclusive to the Blu-ray, other things that only be on the DVD, etc. Or if you got a bunch of extras on the Blu-ray, they'd all be standard def. So it's kind of cool that not only do we get a bunch of extras on the 4K, but the extras are also in 4K. So, awesome. Last, but most certainly not least, the only one I haven't seen, we have Rambo 5, First Blood Part 5. First Blood Part 5, Rambo Last Blood. Close! Rambo Last Blood. There we go. So this is the 5th one for anyone keeping track. And yeah, look at him. He's just a freaking beast, man. Like, awesome. Can't wait to check this one out. So here we go. The final chapter of the Rambo saga. Let's check it out. A relentlessly savage finale. Almost 4 decades after he drew first blood, Sylvester Stallone is back as one of the greatest action heroes of all time, John Rambo. Now Rambo must confront his past and unearth his ruthless combat skills to exact revenge in a final mission. A deadly journey of vengeance, Rambo Last Blood marks the last chapter of the legendary series. And not a lot of extras on this one. We've got Drawing Last Blood, a multi-part production diary, although, I mean, that could be 5 hours long for all I know. From first note to Last Blood, music for the massacres, and the theatrical trailer. And there you go. That is it. And I noticed that both 4 and 5 have music by Brian Tyler, a musician I'm not familiar with, but I'm sure he captures the Rambo-ness quite nicely. Now, let me just put these up here and I'll show you what I was talking about with these Moskals. So we got lean, mean, panther-like Rambo in the first one. A little beefier in the second one, sporting the rocket launcher there. I'm your worst nightmare. And Rambo 3 looking even more ripped. Rambo 4, all that time in the jungles of Thailand, have apparently agreed with him. He's looking great. And then he's just a frickin' beast in Rambo 5. Like, look at that. Awesome. Well, we're going to, you know, fire up some red meat on the grill, I think, and have a Rambo-thon at some point in the near future. Alrighty, folks. Well, that is it from me to you for now. Really excited to have Rambo back in the collection. I always really enjoyed these movies, and I've been wanting to revisit them for a long time. And, you know, kind of glad I waited and didn't get that overly priced, you know, Blu-ray tin or whatever it was. It only had the first 4 in it anyway. And now we got them all in 4K. So I'll never have to buy them again. Sweet. Alrighty, that is it from me to you for now, folks. Hope you enjoyed. So until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara.